What's up, peeps? John. Oh, almost. There we go. John here. Thanks for joining me on this first ride of this Royal Enfield Himalayan. It's a little adventure bike from an Indian company. I think they make them in India as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I remember reading around about these a couple of years ago when they first started talking about them. So I came by the Triumph place, and luckily they had them, and I was able to get one for a demo ride. So this is that demo ride. All right. So a little buzzy. This windshield seems to create a lot of buffeting. Wow, it's weird sitting up high and tipping the bike into the turns. I'm not used to it. So I'm supposed to turn left at a Shell station and then turn right to get onto the highway. So luckily this has a gear indicator, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, here's the Shell station. Awesome. So it has quite a few gauges, and they're all analog too, which is pretty neat. A lot of times you just get like a chintzy digital gauge these days. I think it's 3:37 in the morning. Maybe it is in India, I don't know. It says it's 80 degrees out, which is, it's cool to have a temperature gauge on really a $5,000 bike. And an analog tach. See how easy it is to find neutral. Really darn easy. This is not a Harley. It's a good thing in that regard. Yeah, about half a tank. It's an analog fuel gauge as well. Trip A, average miles per gallon. Looks like there's actually a choke. The clutch is really good. Light, easy to operate. Just does what a clutch should do. Suspension's good, soaks up the bumps. The engine exists and propels you forward. Not quickly. Causes a lot of vibrations in the seat. The brakes work. They slow you down. And that's not like super sport brakes or even Harley touring bike brakes. But the throttle is very smooth. The operation is good. I would imagine it's just a cable throttle. 7,000 RPM. 7,000 RPM. 6,500. Fourth gear. 60. And we're in fifth, which is top gear. Definitely some buffeting in the windshield. About 65 now. Roll along power. This is full throttle. 75-ish. No drama. 80. Eventually. Yeah. The windshield does its job. There's some buffeting, some noise, but I'm full throttle here, top gear. I'm able to do about 80. Pretty impressive. For a bike that's kind of off-road focused. Kind of twitching around in the wind, not really that stable. Predictable engine braking. Comfortable position. Some vibrations in the seat, but the transmission is good. The suspension soaks up the bumps and stuff like that. It is not a fast bike, but it's a fast enough bike if you need to do short highway stints like this. This is a pretty cool bike. I like it. It's got some charm, but you don't give up like every modern feature just to get that charm, like on certain bikes, like the Sportster lineup. I'm sure what you're asking yourself is, will it lane split? So let's find out. I'm sure I already know the answer to that. Had to be where there's a city bus, right? Yikes. Really easy to modulate. I'm not kidding. It is a very narrow bike though. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little creeped out by that. I don't want to go right next to the bus. So the seat height is pretty good for me with my 31-inch inseam, roughly. The clutch, like I said before, it's really easy to use. With the clutch out, I mean, this is, I wouldn't say like super low speed riding. I'd say it's moderate speed riding. It's just really easy, predictable, user-friendly bike. If anything, honestly though, I would just take the windshield off, because I don't believe you're going to be doing any high-speed runs on this. It doesn't look like it's just a quick release windshield where you don't need tools, but it also doesn't look like you need to have a master's degree in engineering or a whole garage full of tools just to get it off. Not technically supposed to make a U-turn here, but I'm just going to go ahead and make a U-turn here. It's kind of fun just running up through the gears. You're not going to get no speeding tickets unless you're in like a school zone or something. Running it through the gears, but it does what you need it to do. Here's a bump. Yeah, it sucks up the bumps well, which is good because it's, you know, supposed to be used on dirt roads and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that Triumph of San Diego lets people do demo rides. It's just a great thing to be able to do. Try out bikes before you buy them. It's really hard to get an idea of how something rides, how it would treat you as a vehicle. Oh wow, this even has a compass. That's really handy. Look at that. I don't know how to... So it's pointing to the top left and saying northeast. I guess... No, now it's changed its mind to east. Okay, so I guess the very top... Oh, okay, no. Yeah, okay, I get it now. Sorry. I don't really deal with compasses much at all. I find my way to my ship. I go to work. I do my work. I come home. I know the way. I don't worry about the directions. Compass directions, that is. I'm not a navigation type. So the arrow is pointing north, and then the letters are telling you which direction your bearing is, roughly. And there's marks, so you know, I don't imagine it's as accurate as an analog compass. Because it's kind of a... Alright, now it's... Yeah, it's okay, yeah, it can't really make up its mind which direction I'm going. I think something is throwing it off. Just a really, really easy to use transmission too, you know. The engine sounds like a lawnmower, but I like the clutch pull, I like the transmission itself. The engine does what it needs to do, and I imagine gets a lot of miles per gallon. Because it's a 400cc single without much technology. I think it has fuel injection, but I may be mistaken. It may be carbureted. Wait. Yeah, you know what? I think it is carbureted because of the choke here. It's got a headlight, turn signals, horn, all that stuff. Does the horn work? Horn works. Doesn't sound too great, but it sounds like a horn. Cruises nicely at 65, really. Just not a lot of vibrations at 65, to be honest. About the same, a little bit less vibration than my V-Star 1100 for reference. About the same. fastly smooth like the Milwaukee 8 necessarily, but not bad at all. Not a lot of roll-on power. You kind of have to make sure there's a gap in traffic before you point to where you want to go and try to go there. There's, you know, some wind protection if you keep your legs tucked against the tank, but or if you duck down, I guess you can get out of the wind a bit. I like the gauges. You know, they're easy to read when you're riding. The mirrors, they don't shake too much. It's not bad. The brakes are very adequate. Even the, you know, the rear brake, you could just do some rear braking to have ease of control. Stuff like that while you're tipping it in, and probably throw an exhaust pipe on it and get some good sound. Some people like the thumpers single. Would it have enough power for a passenger? Maybe if y'all are both kind of lightweight. I weigh about 175, 180 pounds. If there was another passenger the same weight, I don't know how it would fare. Seems like you kind of hit the red line fast before you've gotten yourself into too much trouble. So this is a completely 100% beginner friendly motorcycle by all means. In fact, due to the kind of commanding riding position, the suspension, the ease of brakes and clutch and stuff like that, if anybody has any plans of going off-road, this would be a freaking awesome bike for a beginner. It looks, you know, it looks pretty cool. There's you can strap things on here, you can strap things on there. It does have passenger foot pegs, like a lot of bikes don't. I don't know how reliable it will be, how long it will last, but I'm sure it'll be able to be fixed. It's not just something that's like coming from China that nobody has any parts for and stuff like that. So I'm back here at Triumph San Diego, and I'm going to return this bike and thank them for letting me test ride it. I wonder if I should. Yeah, I'm gonna point it uphill instead. Just in case. It doesn't really lean super far over on the kickstand. Oh, let's see if it has a safety feature. Oh, it does. Yeah, awesome. So it will take itself. It'll turn itself off if you put the kickstand down while you're in gear. So that's kind of nice to know. Yeah, pretty handsome bike. I like it. Key off. Let's see how the headlight looks. Yeah, it looks like a headlight, old-fashioned, you know. Works. It'll probably last forever. Easily change the bulb. Won't cost much. Cool. Well, this has been my review of the Royal Enfield Himalayan. Thanks for watching.